It's funny thinking back to those first voice assistants. They felt so clunky, didn't they?
Oh, definitely. Like talking to a very literal robot.
Yeah.
You had to phrase things just so.
Exactly. But things have gotten way smoother lately,
Yeah.
which actually brings us to something you flagged, some interesting news from Amazon on this front.
That's right. They've just pulled the curtain back on a new AI voice model. It's called NovaSonic.
NovaSonic. Okay. So for this deep dive, that's our focus.
Yeah.
What is this thing, really? How does it, stack up against the others, the really natural sounding ones we're hearing now?
Yeah, like from OpenAI, Google.
Right. And what's the key takeaway for us and everyone listening? What do we need to get our heads around?
That's exactly the mission. We'll unpack what NovaSonic is, what Amazon says it can do, look at the performance numbers they've shared,
Okay.
and figure out what it tells us about Amazon's bigger picture, their AI strategy overall.
All right, let's dive in then. NovaSonic, what's the core concept?
So, in essence, it's a generative AI model. Amazon built it specifically to process voice input natively and generate speech that sounds, well, natural, human-like.
Okay, so built for voice from the ground up.
Seems that way. And they're positioning it directly against, the frontier models. They're saying its performance is right up there with OpenAI and Google.
On what kind of metrics?
Things like speed, how well it understands speech accuracy, and just the general quality of the conversation it can have, the flow.
Which makes sense, doesn't it? We were just saying how dated those older systems feel now, even early Alexa.
Exactly. Real conversation was tough. This feels like Amazon saying, okay, game on, we're serious about competing at the top level here.
Yeah, it's their answer to things like ChatGPT's voice mode, which really raised the bar.
Precisely. NovaSonic is their move to deliver that kind of seamless, natural interaction.
And is this just like a research paper? Or can people actually use it? Developers, maybe?
No, it's more than just research. That's a key point. It's
Yeah.
actually available now through Amazon Bedrock.
Ah, Bedrock, their developer platform.
Right. They've got a new API for it, a bidirectional streaming API.
Bidirectional streaming, meaning?
It basically allows for that constant back and forth, like data flows both ways more fluidly, making the interaction feel much more real-time, less stop-start.
Gotcha. Like a proper conversation where you can interrupt or talk over each other a bit.
Sort of, yeah. It enables that kind of responsiveness needed for really interactive voice apps.
Okay, so developers can get their hands on it. What are the features Amazon is really shouting about?
Well, first up, they're really pushing the cost angle.
Oh, how so?
They're calling it the most cost-efficient AI voice model out there. They even claim it's roughly 80% cheaper than OpenAI's GPT-4o.
80%. Wow. That's a massive difference.
It really is. If the performance is truly comparable, that kind of cost saving could be huge for developers wanting to add natural voice.
Yeah, it makes it much more accessible, doesn't it? Lowers that barrier significantly.
Definitely. Cost is always a factor for adoption. Second thing, and this is more consumer-facing, parts of NovaSonic are already inside Alexa Plus, Sienna.
The upgraded Alexa.
Yeah, they're premium assistant. So this tech isn't just theoretical. It's already being deployed in their own products.
Interesting. So people with Alexa Plus might actually be hearing this more natural interaction already,
Yeah.
maybe without realizing what's powering it.
It's very possible. And this ties into something else. They highlight their experience with what they call large orchestration systems.
Orchestration systems.
Yeah.
Sounds complex.
It refers to the technical scaffolding behind Alexa, all the complex systems needed to manage requests. Their head scientist for AGI, Rohit Prasad, basically argues this experience gives them an edge.
How so?
Well, think of Alexa handling millions of requests, weather, music, smart home, shopping. This orchestration layer is really good at routing those requests efficiently. It knows when to fetch real-time info or parse data or talk to an external app.
Ah, okay. So NovaSonic doesn't have to do everything itself. It can leverage this existing traffic control system to delegate tasks.
Exactly. It can intelligently figure out the best tool or API for the job within Amazon's ecosystem rather than trying to be a master of everything. Much more efficient.
That makes a lot of sense.
What else?
They also talk about conversational flow, how NovaSonic is designed to wait to speak at the appropriate time.
Meaning it doesn't just jump in immediately, it understands pauses.
Yeah, and interruptions too, apparently.
Hmm.
It tries to understand the rhythm of a natural two-way dialogue, which should make it feel less robotic, less like just firing commands back and forth.
That's a subtle but really important detail for making it feel like a genuine conversation, isn't it? That timing aspect.
Absolutely. And one more thing for developers, it can generate text transcripts of what the user says.
Oh, useful. So you get a record, or you can use that text for other things in an application.
Precisely. Opens up possibilities. Okay, let me try and sum that up. Key features. Much cheaper, already powering parts of Alexa. Plus, Tate smart request routing, thanks to existing infrastructure,
Yeah.
better conversational timing.
Respecting pauses and interruptions.
Right. And it gives you text transcripts.
Yeah.
Sounds like a pretty compelling package.
It does on paper, yeah.
But how does it actually perform? What are the numbers, the benchmarks telling us?
Right. The proof is in the pudding. Amazon claims it's less prone to speech recognition errors, so it understands you better, even with accents or background noise.
Okay.
They cite a specific benchmark, multilingual LibreSpeech. Across English, French, Italian, German, and Spanish, they reported a word error rate, or WER, of 4.2%.
4.2% ER. So roughly 4 mistakes for every 100 words spoken.
On average, across those languages in that specific test, yes, which is generally considered quite accurate.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good, especially across multiple languages. It shows low error rates.
It's a strong number for fairly standard audio conditions.
Okay, standard conditions. But what about, the real world? Like a noisy cafe or a meeting room with lots of people talking over each other. That's where things usually fall apart.
Good point. They address that too, using a different benchmark called augmented multi-party interaction, designed for those messier scenarios.
Right.
And here, they claim NovaSonic was 46.7% more accurate, looking at the word error rate again, compared to OpenAI's GPT-4o transcribe model.
Whoa, hold on. Nearly 50% better accuracy than GPT-4o in noisy multi-speaker environments.
That's the claim. A pretty significant improvement in handling those tougher conditions if it holds up in real-world use.
Yeah, that could make a massive difference in usability in everyday situations. Okay, accuracy sounds promising. What about speed? Responsiveness?
They're claiming industry-leading speed there, too, an average perceived latency of 1.09 seconds.
Latency meaning the delay between speaking and getting a response.
Exactly. And they directly compare it to GPT-4o, citing third-party benchmarking from artificial analysis that put GPT-4o at 1.1 seconds.
So it's faster. Not by a huge amount, but faster.
Faster, yes. And even small differences in latency can really impact how natural an interaction feels. Quicker responses just feel more fluid, more like talking to a person.
Okay, so potentially more accurate, especially in tough spots, and faster than a key competitor. That paints a strong picture. But let's zoom out. Why is Amazon doing this? What's the bigger play here?
Well, according to the info you shared, this ties directly into their larger ambition, building AGI.
Artificial general intelligence, the big one.
Right, and their definition is, well, ambitious. AI systems that can do anything a human can do on a computer. Voice is obviously a huge part of that human-like interaction.
Sure, you can't get to AGI with just text boxes. You need to understand and generate speech, see images, maybe understand video.
Exactly. And Amazon apparently plans to release more AI models that handle these other modalities, image, video, voice, and they even mention other sensory data relevant if you bring things into the physical world.
Sensory data for the physical world. Interesting. Sounds like robots are more integrated smart devices.
Could be. It definitely suggests they see AI moving beyond just the screen.
And it feels like their AGI division is becoming more central to their product roadmap overall, doesn't it?
I think that's fair to say. We're seeing more AI-focused announcements. The material mentioned the recent preview of something called NovaAct, too.
NovaAct, what's that?
Described as a browser-using AI model, possibly powering parts of Alexa Plus or that Buy For Me feature. It suggests AI agents that can, do things online for you.
Oh, so more autonomous AI, taking actions, not just answering questions.
Seems to be the direction. So NovaSonic isn't just about better voice commands. It's a foundational piece for these broader goals.
A building block for more capable, multimodal, maybe even agent-like AI.
Precisely. And making NovaSonic available to developers via Bedrock is also strategic. It's them saying, here, use our advanced internal tools to build the next generation of applications.
Sharing the wealth, so to speak. Enabling the ecosystem.
Kind of. It fosters innovation on their platform and potentially accelerates progress towards their AGI goals by leveraging external developers.
Okay, let's try and wrap this up for everyone listening. We've done a deep dive into Amazon's NovaSonic. Key takeaways.
Okay, first, NovaSonic is Amazon's big new bet on natural AI voice. It's designed for much more human-like conversation.
And positioned right against the top models from Google and OpenAI.
Exactly. Second, it boasts some potentially impressive features. high accuracy, especially in noisy settings, fast response times, and critically, a significantly lower cost for developers.
which could really drive adoption if those claims hold true. Plus, it's already being used in Alexa Plus and accessible via Bedrock.
Mm-hmm. Third, remember the context. This isn't just about voice. It fits into Amazon's grander vision for AGI AI that can do what humans do on computers, understanding multiple modalities.
Leveraging their existing strengths in infrastructure, that orchestration capability we talked about.
Right, and it signals a move to open up more of their internal AI tech to the wider world, starting with NovaSonic.
So wrapping up, when you consider these advances, AI like NovaSonic getting so much better at understanding us, sounding like us, responding quickly, it does make you wonder, doesn't it?
How so?
Well, what kind of interactions are just around the corner, things we maybe can't even properly imagine today? Well, talking to our tech becomes so seamless, so primary, that keyboards and screens start to feel old-fashioned in some contexts.
That's a fascinating thought. A future where voice isn't just an option, but maybe the most natural and efficient way to interact with information and systems in many situations.
Yeah. Something to think about is this technology keeps evolving so rapidly.